What is up and welcome back to my channel. We are going to review, harder than last time, Doucette Anabolic CookBook 2.0. If you are expecting some anabolic French toast, expecting apple goop, if you are expecting anabolic ice cream, did I say that word even right? Expecting. I don't know, I've said it a few times now, it sounds weird in my ears, in my head even. Either way, if you're expecting any of those things, the standard Doucette recipes, there's a 0% chance of that happening because I'm not doing any of those recipes. I'm gonna follow recipes from this cookbook that are not in his original cookbook, which I have obviously already reviewed the Doucette cookbook. You can find a link in the card up here or on this side, I don't really know. And I'll leave it in the description down below. I also did the anabolic French toast eating challenge. I'm not actually too sure if I beat his time or not.
One minute and 50.
2 minutes and 32. How the hell did she do that in a minute and a half? If you're interested to see how I fare on this, I'm going to do it for 3 days. I'm aiming to do maybe 4 to 5 recipes a day. We'll see, because the food is very filling. My approach to diet at the moment is that I just eat if I'm hungry. I eat what I want. Healthy whole foods for the most part is my thing. I do prefer a lower carb diet, which is kind of hard with Doucette, but that's fine. I'll eat more carbs. I'm not bothered about that. It means I'll just have to train harder than last time. Talking of which, let's go to the gym right now and make some gains. Before we get to the gym, I do need to clarify that I actually recently moved to Bulgaria, which means that health foods are not a thing over here. I was lucky to find a low calorie cheese or a low fat cheese, and that wasn't even fat free. So I did my best to make the recipes work based on the ingredients here, and I'll talk to you through if I have made adaptations, how you can make adaptations to yourself if you live in an area, in a country where health foods are not available. Because I love you, Greg, and I know health is important, but I ain't spending $30, $40 on import taxes on bloody wraps. That ain't happening. I'm not made of money. You maybe are, but I'm not. I might be made of more money though, if you like, you know, share this video, review it, just saying. So training is done. I made sure I trained harder than last time. Now, let's see what this apple pie is about. I did try some yesterday, warm. It was quite nice.
Yesterday.
Well, so I'm about to make the anabolic breakfast. I live in Bulgaria, and finding the carbohydrate content is hard. So I know that Greg prefers to have around 15 grams of carbs per slice of regular ass bread. I don't know what this is, so we're going to find out. Basically, this is per 100 grams. Per 100 grams, this bread is 45 grams. It doesn't give me the slice value. This was the lowest carb bread I could find. Let's try, this is brown bread, which is fine, like, I don't really mind. So 32 grams.
5 minutes later.
So now I know that of this bread is around 14 grams of carbs. I need 80 slices. I just wanted to make sure that I have the right amount of calories per slice. So basically, if you do the anabolic cookbook, you can use alternatives. You don't have to use necessarily what he recommends, as long as the total calories kind of match. So for example, if it says somewhere use this tomato sauce, if you don't have that brand, just basically look in the shop for alternatives that are similar in calories. Or if you have like 3 tablespoons of the one sauce, which is X amount of calories, but the sauce you want to use is only half it's double the calories than just half your serving. That's basically the logic behind using the anabolic cookbook. So it does require a little bit of maths, some mental dexterity, but if I can do it, you can do it. Let's put it like that. I just spent 10 minutes trying to work that out. So trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. But this recipe is super easy, super straightforward. I've just moved house, as in like last week, I moved to a different country. I'm now in Bulgaria. So this was a very interesting challenge to do from that perspective.
The next day.
I actually prep a lot of food in advance because I don't want to cook every day a lot, basically. So, advanced prepped food. Let's go. I actually prefer it cold. I think it is nicer. It's almost like the flavors had a chance to infuse a little bit more. I am going to try and eat a big serving. I believe this is 77 grams of carbs, 44 grams of protein, and like 3 grams of fat or something like that. I'm going to try and eat all of this, which honestly I don't know if I can, but we have to go out in a second to do some bits for the house that we're renovating at the moment. So I might be out for a couple of hours, which means that I need to make sure that I am full up and I'm not going to be tempted with food out and about. You do want to make sure you have some sugar-free syrup to go with this. Otherwise, the eggy flavor can be a little bit overpowering. But with some syrup, it is very nice. If I were to make this again, I would probably see some blueberries or raspberries in there. Just to give it a bit less apple flavor. Apple is nice, but I think a berry through there would be nice. That's what I'm thinking. For the second meal, my 11s, if you would like. 11:30, close enough. So here I have the double chocolate cookie square. Now I had to use some 85% dark chocolate because I don't do sugar-free chocolate in Bulgaria. So not that I could see in the shop that I went to, and I am traveling for hours just to get some chocolate that is sugar-free. So I just added in some 85%. In is the macros here, base of the recipe. So my one will probably have a little bit extra fat and carbohydrates. But let's try it out. I think calling this a cookie is a bit rich. I'm gonna say it's not my favourite. Despite the real chocolate that's in there, it's a bit dry. Maybe that I messed the recipe up, very possible, could be my fault. Maybe it's better with a sip of coffee. It does taste alright with coffee. Not my favourite, but it's good enough to tie me over for now. Until I get to eat again. Also in Bulgaria, you can't get lean mince. It doesn't exist. In the butchers, it's mince. If you go to the supermarket, it's just mince. Butchers may be able to grind you up some actual steak, but our butcher at the moment isn't here. He's only around in the summer. I'm not driving half an hour out of my way, to go to a butcher that's potentially open in a bigger city. So I have no idea what this is. I will put in the entries as per Greg's recipe. The only thing I will do is I will add on an extra 10 grams of fat, because I don't know, it probably is something like that. And I'm also using fat-free Philadelphia instead to try and cut back on the fat from the cheese that's recommended, because the cheese that I have here, it does have fat in it. It's low fat, but it does have fat in it. Be sure to smash the like button for this video because of the fact that every recipe that doesn't exist in my FitnessPal, I'm creating it as an entry in my FitnessPal as per the macros and the calorie breakdown that is in the cookbook. Doing the work here, guys, and it's not done by HRT. When making the anabolic popcorn, which I am actually making for later today, I'm going to stick in the fridge so it can harden a little bit. Make sure you pop your popcorn first and then pour the Vitafiber through it. It does say that in the instructions, I just didn't follow them. Also, I don't have an air fryer, so instead what I did for the chicken nuggets is I just put my oven on a high heat, but I still coated them with egg whites, so let's try some out. The seasoning is really nice, but it's just like, it's a Dutch mix seasoning that I used. It's just called Italian, but it's really delicious. Very, very nice seasoning. So I just put that through there with the egg whites, some salt and pepper. Also, I accidentally bought chicken thighs, not breast, but I don't read Cyrillic, so it was hard to see from the packet. I'll just add 10 grams of fat to my diary extra. So here is some of the lasagna. I actually made this yesterday.
Yesterday.
Prepare to fail and fail to prepare. All of that. I used the chicken mince that I have here, which is basically just chicken chunks, mixture of breast and min and thigh. So this is gonna have, my one is gonna have more fat than the recommendation. They don't do chicken mince over here, so this is the best I could do. I haven't got a meat grinder, so it is what it is, and there's no butchers open. And also they don't do low fat ricotta. The only fat-free cheese I could find was cream cheese, so I used some of that. Oh no, I didn't actually. I'm lying. I'm partially lying. I did use cream cheese instead of ricotta, but I did find a cheese that was like a light diet option. It's this one here. Now, my husband loved this. In fact, he loved it so much he had 2 servings earlier today. He said it was delicious. And this is actually really low calorie. This is actually probably my lowest calorie meal of the day, besides the snacks. And I'm not remotely hungry. I could probably not eat for the rest of the day, to be honest, but I will. This is a large portion, so maybe I'll just only eat half. Save the rest for him. That is actually really nice. Very low carb too, which I like. I prefer lower carb foods. I'm not a big carb person. Didn't really like the popcorn too much, but it's probably my own fault because I popped them in the pan and a lot of them were unpopped, so they weren't very nice to eat. And it does say in the recipe to pick out the unpopped ones, but you can't really tell until you start chewing them. My total calories for the day, 1,140, which is not bad. It's actually quite low. Normally I eat around 2.5 to 3. So it's on the lower side. My carbs are 195, my fat is 57 grams, and my protein is 210 grams. I feel quite full up though. When I say quite, I do feel really full up. I won't be eating again for the rest of the day, but hopefully I'll have a nice deadlifting session tomorrow with all these carbs.
The next day.
Deadlifted harder than last time. Must be the TRT, Anavar test, T-ball, trembolone, all of it. It's only 110 kilos. It's not that much. So before I get ready, wash my hair, get sorted, I'm gonna make one of the pancakes which are made with cauliflower. And I am dubious. I have a feeling it's not gonna taste great. I'm not the biggest fan of cauliflower. I also don't have casein, so I'm just gonna use whey protein, some vanilla whey protein from Alpha Neon. So it's cheesecake actually, cheesecake flavored protein. Just gonna serve it with strawberries, maybe some syrup. So I don't know what to expect, but up front I haven't got high hopes. Have to be quick because my battery is running low. These are quite tricky to make. You definitely have to make sure that it's a good non-stick pan and also that you kind of loosen it carefully. But let's try. Can't really taste the cauliflower, but the strawberries do help. I think without the strawberries it would have been very cauliflowery. It's okay. I probably won't have it again, but it's not super bad. Let's try out this cheese and ham French toast type sandwich. Not quite sure about the process of making it. I would think it makes more sense to soak it before. Could be that my pan wasn't hot enough, that's possible too. And what I put on there, some of the tomato sauce that I used for my lasagna. And that is like 40 calories per 100 grams. And I didn't even use 100 grams, I used around 40 grams in total. So let's try this out. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to have some egg yolks. Egg whites are alright, but I don't know, I like eating high fat, so I think maybe I fucked up the bread. Maybe I should have cooked longer, but I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat. I feel really full, so I'm not going to finish this now. I will finish it. I just need half an hour. This really grows on you. It's one of those things where initially you're a bit like, oh, it tastes nice, but meh. But then when you get to the middle, to the cheese and to the layers, it is actually really nice. And the softness of the bread, it becomes really enjoyable to eat. Like, it has a really nice consistency. There's a lot of egg whites in there, guys, so I'm pretty damn full right now. I started eating already because I'm really hungry, but I used basil instead of dill because I couldn't find dill, and they didn't have asparagus either. I'm guessing it's a seasonal thing. The food's very seasonal here, so if it's not in season, you can't buy it. Mm-hmm. And instead, what I did is I chopped up some pepper and courgette, and honestly, this is really nice. I'm really enjoying this. I like eating high fat. I like eating fatty cuts of meat. So for me to have some salmon after 3 days or after almost 2 days of just egg whites and lean protein, this is really enjoyable. Like, I've really missed eating fats. It does one thing, like, I do wish some of the food was a bit higher in fat because, or it would at least give you the option to be higher in fat. Just because I'm fairly sure there's a lot of people like me that like high fat, that don't just want to eat carbs all day long. I feel really bloated as well, but I'm not sure if that's because hormones, female hormones, could be because of that. I'll find out tomorrow. I made some protein bars the other day. I'm gonna have some now as a dessert. Do you know what? I think this stuff that I'm using is not the right thing. Apparently this is like Vita Fiber, but it doesn't make it go hard. It just stays sticky. Definitely not the consistency of a protein bar, but it's nice. Honestly, the highlight of my day has been today eating that salmon. I just really prefer eating a more low carb Mediterranean style diet. But we've got one more day tomorrow. I'll try and get all the meals in. But it's quite hard work. The plus is the meals are very filling. And I don't like to eat when I'm not hungry. So, watch some TV and eat this.
The next day.
Definitely did not train harder than last time. I'm surprised I even managed to train. I was not in the mood. I was tired. I did it nonetheless. It was shit. Not gonna lie. Felt weak, felt hungry, felt tired, not bothered. Low energy. Regardless, time to eat. I'm gonna make the whole egg and avocado toast. And simply for the reason that I'm kind of sick and tired of egg whites. So this does have egg whites in it, but not as much as normal. I really want to eat some fats. I'm very much bored of high carb and I want to eat more fats in my diet, so that's what I'm gonna do. So delicious. This is 100% my kind of food. Things like the protein pancakes and stuff like that, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather eat this. It's more to my palate. And that's one thing I do like about the new cookbook, is that there are more low carb options in there. And I understand it's volume eating and you're still getting your protein. I understand all of that, but I just don't like, my taste buds prefer this. I would rather eat a bit more fat than more carbohydrates. For me, to eat like 200 grams of carbohydrates is a lot. And another problem that I'm finding is that I'm actually under eating severely. So I ate around 1800 calories yesterday, the day before around 2000. So that's not enough for me. I'm 5'8" and I'm around 180 pounds. Plus I train every day for a couple of hours. So to eat 1800 calories, I don't even diet for a show that little. Whilst it's great that you can volume eat, for somebody like me who does need more calories, I just need to incorporate more fats, because otherwise I'm just severely under eating because I'm too full up. Sorry if I'm looking a bit rats, but I basically don't feel 100%. So, not too sure if the consistency is right for this. It is a bit runny. We'll find out. You do not have 0% fat yogurt in Bulgaria. It doesn't exist. So I used instead like a buffalo yogurt, which is made from buffalo milk. It's really high quality, it's organic, all of that. And it's fairly low in fat. It's around 4 grams of fat, I think. 4 grams of protein and like 6 carbs, something like that. It's fairly low. I only did half of the recipe because I didn't want to be left with potentially 12 egg yolks for the full recipe. Again, from what I have seen, you can't buy egg whites in a carton here. Maybe you can get it online. I haven't checked. My Bulgarian is not good enough to navigate the internet. There is a translate, but from what I've seen from some things I was looking to order, you have to literally get it shipped over from the UK or something like that. I am going to keep these egg yolks because from tomorrow I'm going to do a 3-day carnivore diet that will be up next week. and I'm going to use this to make my own mayonnaise with. We'll see. I don't really know what to expect of this. I'll try it out. I am now going to prep the spicy pork because my pork needs to be cooked up, and let that just do its thing whilst this is getting ready. And then I'm also going to still make the chicken wrapped in parma ham, and then that'll be it for me for today in terms of food. So here is the cauliflower pizza. Let's try it out. I did put some mince on there from the other day, which is not lean ground mince, so I'll just add in like 10% of fat or 10 grams of like butter or something like that. I put also on there some cream cheese, like Philadelphia low fat, and just a little bit of the other cheese that's low fat. So this is 3 servings, so the recipe makes 6, and I had only enough for 3, so it's like 1.5 pizzas each, I guess. Let's try some out.
Nice.
Right, consistency is a bit bready. There's definitely a hint of cauliflower, but it's not super bad. It has gone crusty around the edges, but I didn't want to bake it too long because it started to burn. It's kind of not crispy, but it has like, it's almost like a more of a wrap consistency, I would say, rather than a pizza base. It does taste of cauliflower, but it's not overpowering. I think if you season it enough, you can't taste it. Is it like pizza? I don't know about that.
It doesn't taste like Domino's for sure, but I think it's okay, because if you season too much cauliflower after that, it'll be like you will not know it's cauliflower pizza. You know, that's why it's a cauliflower pizza. You have to do the cauliflower.
It's not bad. It's really, really not bad. Considering the calories as well, I think one of these pizzas probably is something like 300-400 calories, maybe 400 with the mince that I've used. So in terms of calorie sparing, you get a lot of food for it. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to make though. I think I do prefer the low calorie wrapped pizzas just for convenience. This is a lot of effort is going into making pizza, where you can just get a low calorie wrap and put some tomato sauce on that and stick in the oven. So. So I just worked out my calories for today for the rest of the food I'm going to have, and it only comes out 1700. So what I decided to do was make some of these chocolate peanut butter rice cakes, and I have them with strawberry on top, which comes down to 255 calories, but I use real peanut butter because I don't have the PB2 left over. Obviously there's a lot more calories, but that's fine because again 1700 calories is not enough for me. This will probably bump it up to about 2000, 2100, something like that. Maybe a bit more, 2200 probably, but still low. It's really nice and refreshing actually, but the mixture is a bit sticky on the lips. We just went to get the meat for the carnivore challenge that I'm going to start tomorrow, which I'm actually really excited for. So if you want to see that, that'll be up on my channel on Tuesday. I'm going to start tomorrow, and we got some interesting meat like tongue and stuff like that. So, but for now, I'm going to eat this pork chili, this pork tenderloin chili. See what that's all about. There's 4 servings in there, so this is probably like a quarter, I would say. Spicy because of the jalapenos. But actually it does have a nice taste. I think it would be nice with coriander. They don't do it over here. Again, seasonal. Maybe they don't do it at all. I don't know. I think a squeeze of lime. Some maybe coriander. Be very nice. Spicy though. It's okay if you eat around the jalapenos. And normally I'm quite good with jalapenos. I don't think they're actually that spicy, but these ones are very spicy. They're much spicier than the ones I've had in the UK. These are almost on par with like, you know, the little red peppers. Not the Thai bird, but the red peppers are like that big. Maybe like that thick. It's that's what she said. Yeah, they're kind of on par with that sort of spice. Alright, last meal of the 3 days. Let me have a quick bite because my battery is about to die, and then I'll be back with my thoughts later. I made it a bit too garlicky for my liking, but chicken wrapped in bacon, you can't go wrong, right? Anyway, I'll be back. I'm going to finish this and then I'll be back with my thoughts afterwards. Alright, so let me summarize my thoughts on the Doucette cookbook. Let me start by the negatives. The cookbook is quite pricey. There is no way about it. You can't say you can't put a price on health. $150 is putting a price on health. On the plus side, if you are somebody who is trying to diet, who doesn't understand nutrition, who wants to learn how to volume eat, it definitely can be good. I think another negative is that the food's really high carbohydrate, which is fine if you like eating carbs. I'm personally not a high carb person. I felt quite bloated with it. I'm looking a bit soft and watery from it. I'd rather fry things in butter or have some mayonnaise with my food and cut back on the carbohydrates. Also a negative that I found is that it made me undereat. Whilst if you're trying to diet and lose weight, that's great. I'm not trying to diet or to lose weight. I'm basically trying to kind of maintain, but at the same time be strong in the gym. So if I'm eating 1800 calories a day where I should be eating 2.5, that's a big difference. If you're trying to lose weight, great. If you're not trying to lose weight just because of the fact that the food is so voluminous in terms of feeling on the stomach, it can be a problem because you may inadvertently lose weight when you're not trying to lose weight. Now the pluses, there were a lot of recipes that I very much enjoyed, some I didn't, but then that could be just error, that could just be user error on my part. I like the fact that he did have that there was a greater variety of produce in there. Last time from the original cookbook was mostly just chicken and beef, lean ground beef, but this time around we had some pork, we had some salmon, there was some tilapia. So I like that there was a bit more variety in it. I like there was incorporation of more egg dishes. Like I said, I like eating higher fat. So a lot of the recipes were higher fat, but they were still quite high carb. So, but at the same time, I appreciated that there was more high fat options in there. The recipes are super easy to follow. I like to cook anyway, but even if you're not a cook, they're super easy to follow. They don't take an awful lot of time to prepare. They're fairly user-friendly. From the perspective of somebody that lives in Bulgaria, you're going to struggle with some of the recipes because I think if you order it online or maybe even get it internationally delivered, they don't sell liquid egg whites. You don't want to buy a carton of eggs and just be left over with egg yolk, so that's kind of a negative. There's not a lot of high protein foods around. You kind of have to maybe go to specialist shops in actual cities. Supermarkets don't do it. But besides that, you can kind of make it work. You just have to think outside the box. So if the food options that he recommends aren't available in your country, you obviously can deliver, but I'm not going to spend $30-40 on import taxes for some wraps and delivery cost. But what you can do is that you can look at other foods and kind of see what the macros are on that, and you can adapt the quantity that you need to meet the calories that he recommends. So you can do it. It just requires a little bit more thinking on your part, but as I said in the beginning, if I can do it, you can do it. If you have the first cookbook, do you need the second cookbook? They're quite different, but in the second cookbook there are repeats of the first cookbook. I found the second cookbook is a bit more treaty in terms of cookies and shakes and pancakes and all of that. So if you like doing this sort of cooking, if you want to have more protein dessert cooking, then it's quite good for that. If I wasn't doing a video, would I have bought the second cookbook or would I have preferred this first cookbook? I think I would have preferred the second one for the simple reason that it has more high fat foods. But I think if you're just looking for day-to-day life, I don't know, they are different cookbooks, but do you need both of them? I don't know. I think if you have one, you're kind of alright. But if you were to buy one, maybe buy the second one if you haven't bought the first one yet, because there is some repeats in there. So those are my thoughts, my summary. I hope you enjoyed the video. Insert a cooking emoji, a chef one, whatever, anything to do with kitchens, doesn't matter. The world in terms of emojis is your oyster. And yeah, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Let me know down below why. Maybe I can learn something, or maybe we'll just agree to disagree, which is cool too. We're going to continue on our little walk now. Enjoy the somewhat sunrise whilst we can before the weather turns bad again. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao.